All right, so quickly for those watching, these are this season's participants of the UtrechtInc Student Startup Validation Program. So yeah, these are our student entrepreneurs. And yeah, the program is designed to help students bring their ideas and turn them into startups. And they do that through mentorship, workshops, things like that. So why don't you guys each get started and just let's see those elevator pitches. 30 seconds, introduction of you and your startup. You want to start?
Oh,
go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hello, everybody. So consumers are becoming more environmentally and sustainability conscious, and they want to make a positive impact with their daily life choices. But unfortunately, often they just struggle to find the right options to shop sustainably. And that's where Lattuga, my startup, comes to action, because it wants to connect environmentally conscious shoppers with local physical stores who sell sustainably. And so it makes it easy and quick, while a Google search can instead take hours often to actually give results. And also, on the other hand, small businesses can afford advertisements to their perfect audience for a very small monthly price. So even small businesses without a big marketing budget can afford it.
Okay, nice.
Let's go. So I'm Tess. I'm working on the startup Stamps. Stamps will be the app where you can communicate if you're on an intensive medical journey, because when you're on such a journey, it's not only your health that is impacted, it's your entire daily life. And a lot of people are concerned about you, but it actually takes a lot of energy to text everybody about your updates, and it's quite annoying as well to do. So Stamps will be the solution in which it's easy to update everybody that you love, and also outer circles, so groups maybe of colleagues, and keep them in the loop the entire time during your medical journey. And we'll support you as much as we can in your communication. So, thank you.
It's nice. Hi guys, I'm Sylvio, and I'm one of the founders of Navia. And Navia is travel social media because we understood that today you have mainly two ways of traveling. Either you go through a travel agency or you go through the internet. If you go through the internet, it's easily to imagine yourself with 20 tabs open, trying to figure out what to do, where to stay, and stuff like that. So the information is still very broad and unorganized, what consumes a lot of extra time that is not needed. And if you go through the travel agencies, because of the intermediaries, you ended up spending more money than necessary. So basically you have two options. Either you go to you spend more money or more time than necessary. And with Navia, we created a platform that enables you to produce your itinerary and share with the others, connecting those who want to get there with those who have already been there. And that's it.
Nice. All right. I remember talking with all of you guys at the kickoff event, and that was, I think, 8 weeks ago already. So I'm just a little curious to see, what's happened since then.
But we've done a lot of research, and I guess part of the outcomes were that people are having difficulties in communicating, what to tell, how to tell them, and so a bit of an iteration towards more support in the actual communication, so towards more help in writing the updates, because that's what people struggle with a lot, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but it's still the communication platform during medical journeys and the support part as well.
Yeah. Any other major pivots for the others? Since you started?
The pitching? With the
pitching?
pitching?
Yeah. Remember the original, the kickoff event in October?
I mean, for sure, it goes broad because you need to understand that it's not about what you want to say, it's about what people want to hear. So I would say that's the main difference, because in the beginning I was all about, okay, I want to say that I want to change the world throughout travel, and I want to say my purpose, and I want to say that and that and that. But at the end, you need to understand what bring more attention to people. You need to be more direct and just open a little door that will make them interest, but it's not going to say everything. So I think that's the main difference for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think I've realized something similar. Like my idea at the beginning was of this platform where you can find every solution to any possible sustainably shopping necessity. Well, like now I've understood to like it's important to start small, narrow it down, and then you'll always have time to make it bigger in time. So yeah.
Yeah, you can always sort of grow. You can always expand, but in the
Exactly.
beginning, you always have to pick like a niche.
It's
you know,
easier
market and
to
everything.
start small and then expand than like
Yeah.
start huge and then
Yeah.
having to narrow it down because you can't
Yeah.
follow everything.
Yeah, like dominate a small market and then go from there. Yeah. And so, what is the program? You know, the UtrechtInc validation program. What has it given you guys so far? Anything?
Oh, so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I have no business background, so literally I take every opportunity I can get to learn about entrepreneurship and startups, and really like everything I thought I knew completely changed thanks to the program. I mean, I think like I used to fall in the preconceptions of like, the big idea is the most important thing, and if you have the perfect idea, the money worth idea, then like get as much money as you can and you're gonna have a successful business. And of course, it's completely wrong. But yeah, so thanks to the program, I got to actually, learn the correct things to maybe create a successful.
So how did the program do that for you? Like, is it the coach meetings or also the workshops?
Well, the workshops really gave me like the basic notions, which I already had a bit from like reading books by myself, but I really needed somebody to like explains them to me in like simple words, not having any sort of that background. Mm-hmm. But I found also the coaching very useful because it's nice to have somebody that knows the subject and that you can talk with specifically about my startup.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the main things here in UtrechtInc, it's definitely the social part, like meeting people that are networking and people that are like willing to go through the same path as you are and share the same experience. So that's really helpful, and as well like to have a place for us, like we are students, to connect like the outside life with the student life. It's really important for me as well to understand how to deal with both things. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for me the networking part it's quite important as well. It's really nice to meet other entrepreneurs because you don't have colleagues like in a bigger company, but it's still, you're really not alone in it because there's a lot of people going through the same things, and it's really nice to just talk about that, and actually time flies. But it's also the coaching and the extra eyes, so you can indeed look at a business model canvas on Google and just, make a draft and then make another draft. But it's really different if there's someone standing in front of you asking like, what do you mean with that, and is that the right choice, or should you go that way, and then just gives you an extra critical mind on your ideas, and also kind of an extra motivator to go through with it and finish it up for the next coach meeting or the next workshop, and just make steps actually in 10 weeks. So that's.
Yep. And then a little bit about skills, Have you guys built any very valuable skills, or at least discovered that like, this is a skill that I need to work on since the start of the program? I mean, besides networking is also a skill in some ways.
Pitching.
I mean, we have,
Pitching.
spotting opportunities, or
able
dealing with uncertainty, or time management, or all of the above.
Well, for sure. But I think like with time management, and we're students, we should be we're all students, either approaching the end of our studies or being at a later stage at least. But so I think time management, we should already be able to deal with it. Although of course taking up also founding a startup is a bit is a big chunk of time that goes to it. But I think for me, like being able to be confident and, you know, selling myself, like selling the product, like really putting out there. Yeah, I think that was the main skill that I'm struggling with, and I'm trying to, so really pitching hard my product, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think, I don't know, the coaching sessions were really helpful because you get to like know really deeply into a specific part of your time, like what are like the specific difficulties that you're dealing with, and sometimes on workshops and stuff we're dealing with more broad topics that everybody needs to deal with, but like when you go to the workshop you say like I don't know, today I have to make that decision, what do you think about it, what should I do, or something like that, and it's really helpful to get some insight from someone that is more experienced than yourself. So yeah, that would be really nice. And time management, I'm still very bad at it. And I'm gonna be for a couple of times until I,
Yeah. And any other, you know, have you guys faced any major challenges up to this point?
Well, I doubt myself so often. In general, I mean, it's especially not having studied for this. For me, it's like a completely career change and a huge challenge to take on. So yeah, I've doubted myself so many times. I've doubted whether it is worth to spend time on it, whether I'm making the biggest mistake of my life, well, you know, those things.
Those kind of things.
Those easy good life questions.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think that's been the biggest struggle, especially the beginning. And then after like a couple of workshops and a couple of coaching sessions where actually things start taking form, then it's been a bit easier. But especially at the beginning, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think I cried through my first coaching session. Yeah.
But you would say then that the program like really helped, you know, you tackle these challenges, especially like the self-doubting and, you know, not knowing anybody else in the business world, because this program just gives you like a platform to just kind of go from and really like start working on concrete ideas.
Yeah, and especially when you start, you know, meeting and networking a bit and meeting more people that either already walked that path or they're walking it now, and you really understand that everybody panics at some point, everybody questions their ideas and their choices, and everybody thinks they're making the biggest mistake, but the trick is persevering and going through with it and working hard, and then one day you'll be like, what if that one time I actually gave up and I wouldn't be where I am now? So yeah.
So where are you guys actually at now with the businesses? What are you guys working on now?
I was just finishing up the validation part, I guess, because I've done a lot of interviews and also sent out a questionnaire and got a lot of response. And I find it very difficult to actually draw the conclusions that need to be drawn. So actually the point of the validation program is also like, are you solving a problem worth solving, right? So when do you decide, yep, it's definitely worth it and this is the right way? That's quite difficult to me, but I just finished up the conclusions and I think we got a very nice result, and it's also good to just be done with it and then take the next step. So our next step is to try to find a way to develop it actually. So that's really cool and challenging as well.
Yeah.
As an insect.
Have you found a tech specialist at all?
Sort of, but mainly in the advising role at this moment. So not full time.
Okay.
No, not yet.
And for us, we're basically launching our MVP in a couple of weeks. We did an outsourcing development with the MVP to prove our concept, and we are starting to open the investment first round, and so starting to talk to investors and understand how can we do partnerships and to scale up the platform, and also structuring the technological team. So we are having a lot of meetings as well with technological partners. So once we get the money or something like that, we have the structure to develop a scalable platform. So that's it. So yeah.
I'm in the midst of my validation as well. So I've been conducting so many interviews in the last weeks, and it's been really interesting. I'm seeing that the problem I thought people have actually do have. They do have it, so it's actually good results, positive results. And now I'm starting also to think about how to create my MVP. So been looking into some very, very basic websites just to start putting out there the product and see what the response is, but very basically. And yes, because also I'm still looking for a tech partner, so I gotta rely for now just on my tech abilities, which are not that reliable. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that was actually leading into my next question, which you guys already started to answer. You know, what are next steps? But for you, yeah, it's funding, I guess, then.
Yeah, for me, I think funding. Yeah, for sure funding, and then, but at the same time, understanding what is the best solution for us in tech, on the tech part of it. If we're gonna outsource it, probably not, but understand the best solution for us on insourcing production of the scalable platform that we're gonna launch like in 6 months or so.
Nice. So, do you guys recommend to join the UtrechtInc student startup program, or a similar program like a validation program, for other students or other people who are, have an idea, but they, are looking for something to take them to the next step? What do you guys recommend? Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the situation is with somebody that actually studied business in general, but for somebody like me that comes from a completely different background, I wouldn't have any idea of any other path to take to actually bring the idea to an actual startup, because I did need desperately somebody that would guide me, and a validation program like this is the best path to take.
Yeah.
Well, I can add on to that, because I do have a business background, but I still think you learn more from a program like this than an entire bachelor, because it's actually, you just need to do it, and you're doing it for something you're passionate about, so you'll just learn 10 times as much.
As well,
yeah.
I'll add to that, like, I think everyone that is here is kind of, how to say that, unquiet mind, has an unquiet mind, so even though, like, for me, I'm going through my study program, I cannot just stay thinking about just the study that I have. I always have some ideas, and I think you guys as well, like, that's why you were here, because we think a little bit over the box, so we were trying to change something. And if you have some ideas and as well, like, have some ideas to change stuff, so I think you should come here to organize that and see how it's possible to follow that passion.
All right, great. Well, all their contact information will be in the description. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, for being here and taking the time today.
Thank you.
Yeah.